Wait, no, just tell me.
No, because we're live right now. Wait, did you not know we were live? I said, do you want to join me on stream?
No. Hi, chat? Question mark.
Or I said, do you want to chat briefly? That's my bad. I apologize.
Yeah, you didn't say we were on stream. What are you trying to do?
I didn't.
Yes, no. Okay. No, thank you again for being here, gang. You can stay if you like, or you can go if you like. Either way, if you want to.
Can I yell at you now?
You can absolutely yell at me. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, is this worth watching? Apparently, Aiko and President Sunday had a stream after. Everything's tracked in USD and they pay me in pounds.
All right, we're back. Is Kyla's husband in chat? Is he actually? That's
Ooh.
funny. That's really funny.
Kyla's husband about to pop off. Do you think President Sunday understands his locale position? I don't think so, no. I think he sees himself as a serious political operator. Which is kind of weird because as much as he professes to be this political scientist dude or whatever, he constantly engages in drama and which is fine. I do loads of drama stuff, but then I'm not trying to say I'm a political scientist or trying to act like I've got loftier goals than just making content. Here we go.
It seemed the only arguments people had were Brianna had some points early on, which I disagreed with, but they weren't worth contesting. Where electoral politics was the litmus test for good strategy, just generally, which, there's a time and a place. Katie had some good retorts to everybody. She didn't really have much in the way of a positive contribution, but her critiques were edifying. Which frankly, in this kind of conversation, is basically all you can do, because it's too big. It's too big to positively address in the span of 2 hours, especially with 6 people. Kidnutkin was kind of useless. Jenny was useless, but we've expected that.
Useless.
And I actually can't think of a single thing Destiny contributed to the conversation except a dog whistle about how progressives are responsible for the persecution of trans people. It was kind of...
Where's he getting that from? Jesus, these dog whistles are getting very elaborate. These dog whistles are getting super elaborate now that no one but President Sunday can understand them, it seems.
An embarrassing showing. And then at the end of it, Wick just declared he wasn't an impartial moderator, despite the fact that he had been building up this entire thing as we're doing careful moderation this time. It was a farce, which is fine. It's fine. It's just, it's boring is what it is. It's I get it. I get it.
It's funny, Katie went on Destiny's stream after this, and they agreed that Katie was essentially fighting Ghostal panel due to a misunderstanding. Is that true? Maybe behind the scenes, Wick said something like that. I don't know if Wick's in chat still. But I think my understanding of Wick is that he does get a little bit involved, and, he's obviously a big free speech guy, and he generally is kind of critical of the progressive stuff. Maybe he said something in private that I'm not aware of that would, lead to President Sunday coming away with that conclusion. But generally speaking, I think we all know what side of the bread is buttered when it comes to Wick.
Yeah, it's your last shot to be something, guys.
The claims that trans people in sports is a progressive thing when it's the right who make it a culture war point. I mean, I think you have to be reaching pretty hard to say that's to say what President Sunday said there, right? I need to go back over the conversation and confirm what was said. But I don't know if that's exactly how it was presented. I can't remember. I don't think it was it?
Oh, thank you so much. The antidote. Can I get some water too? I'm so sorry. Thank you. Let's see if Big Nick has big balls. No, she's not here. He says she doesn't deal with mental health. She helps people find therapists and provides refunds if people are not satisfied with the professionals. You know what? You know what we call that, Big Nick? Call that dealing with mental health. You are taking money from vulnerable people with presumably mental health problems.
Good.
Who trust you on the grounds of credentials that
Good.
you have declared you have.
Based.
Falsely in this case. To help them choose, discriminate between one therapist and another. On the basis of God knows what expertise, because it changes with the wind.
I was talking about the erudite therapist thing. I mean, I think making money off of mentally ill people is based, so I can't really disagree with that on principle, unfortunately.
Getting your house elf to fetch you some coffee and water. More of a strong Nordic alien, actually.
I actually think Max's thread about this was pretty elucidating, to use a long word. But yeah, I think he put it like, you know, she puffs her chest out a bit when it comes to credentialization, which I think is a fair criticism. But I think that the way that President Sunday acts is like she's like super dishonestly presenting herself, and like this therapist thing is like a total sham. And I just don't really. It's like whatever to me. Like, do I agree with it? Like wholesale, maybe not. Maybe I would have some sort of issues with that service. But like the comparisons to Dr. K are fucking insane. Like, you know, that people make. It's not the same thing at all, you know? But yeah. But yeah, the actual claims in the video, I need to watch obviously the video and the response, which I think maybe is coming out tomorrow, but I'm not sure.
You like that.
But yeah, I don't know about the other claims in the video. I've not actually watched it yet.
Oh, thank you for the $20, Dietrich. I miss your debates with relatively intelligent people. Bring flatter. We're doing that on.
When does Aiko join anyway? That's a bit I want to see.
Before Kadology. I have to figure out what time Kadology's at. But we are getting more of that one. That was so good. I did enjoy that. As for why I was rude to Bree, Bree sent me some Brianna Wu sent me some bizarre fucking DMs a couple nights ago. It was so weird. It was like, hey, really looking forward to tomorrow. I just want to say as a heads up, because we don't know each other, I don't want to feel it's personal, but I'm not a fan of your erudite video, and I have some critiques of it that are relevant to the subject at hand. They weren't relevant to the subject at hand. Here's what actually happened.
Wait, is that bizarre? Is that bizarre? And also, yeah, if President Sunny wants to talk about bizarre DMs, I've got plenty that I could show that are pretty fucking bizarre. I don't know if that's that bizarre, is it? Like, you're going on someone, you're worried about having some disagreements or something, like... I don't know, man. I don't think it's that big a deal, is it, to reach out to them and say, hey, we're going on a panel? That's like just normal shit, isn't it?
She really wants to get close to these people, and they all said, hey, you should bring that up. And so she tried to force it in as hard as she could. And the reason why she didn't even know what the degree she had was because she didn't watch my video. She had no idea what she was talking about. She was a pawn in this conversation. It was actually embarrassing. Oh yeah, no, Kyla charges vulnerable people $40 for a search. And she defended Dr. K. If I had to guess, probably, because she does psychological assessments, or has done psychological assessments, on stream as a bit. Cloud Shark, thorough Cloud Shark. There's a reason why she disappeared for a long time, guys, and it wasn't just because she was hounded off the internet.
What does that mean? What's that about?
That's what Steven is. He's the last stop for the desperate grifter on a last leg.
That's me.
I want to keep respecting Brianna too, Dietrich, unfortunately. What's the deal with Dr. K again? The issue with Dr. K is that he has, and this is something that he does.
Aside from like agreeing with Destiny at points, like what was it Brianna Wu said that was that bad or that wrong? Like she was quite, sensitive to the idea of like people that express themselves in certain ways online are obviously like, upset, traumatized people. Like I mean, it wasn't like she was like going, "Oh yeah, progressives, yeah, they fucking suck, don't they? They're a bunch of retarded idiots. Fuck them." She was quite sensitive to like the reasoning as to why people are like this. I don't know, like even if you don't like the fact that she agreed with Destiny, which I can understand coming from, if someone doesn't like Destiny, you're not going to like the fact that she's agreed with Destiny or like running cover for DGG. I totally get that. But like, what in the substance of what she said was wrong or bad? I really don't understand.
There's something actually very similar to Kyla. Dr. K has but the difference is he doesn't lie about his credentials. He just misuses them. So Dr. K has, as I understand it, a psychiatric degree from Harvard. I might be misremembering that. So he puts doctor in his name on YouTube, Dr. K, and he, for a while, had things that seemed to be quasi-therapy sessions with streamers. This is very dangerous for a number of reasons. If the person you're giving a session to is actually vulnerable, Wu was very disappointed in UPS. She's gonna break my heart.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's splitting hairs really. He did some sort of time at Harvard, but his actual qualification was from somewhere else, I believe. Yeah.
If the person you're having a session with is very vulnerable, you are having the session with a massive audience. You cannot predict what the consequences of that will be. If it's not clear what the relationship is, it's very difficult to treat it as that kind of relationship. And the reason why this came to a head is because one person that he had I
think we all know my position on Dr. K by now, so...
There were points in their conversations where he said, I don't know if I'm your friend or your therapist. As a therapist, you have to know if someone's your friend or your therapist. It's actually a really important part of the relationship. He committed suicide. He killed himself. So, a few people, most notably Chud Logic and Mr. Girl. It's deeply unfortunate they're the ones who did this, but I mean, in this particular case, they were right. We're criticizing him for, first of all, advocating pseudoscientific nonsense. He was insisting, for example, mental illnesses like depression were not real. He was arguing that placebo
That's so funny, man.
Reduce the size of cancerous tumors. It's just a irresponsible hack. And Kyla's sole contribution to that discourse was to come in and run interference for him. It was embarrassing. That's my first exposure to her. He doesn't do therapy streams anymore. Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't.
Yeah, I think one thing to Dr. K's credit, as much as I loathe to say it, because I fucking really don't like Dr. K, obviously, and I get very mad when I get the simps in my chat, but we're not going to fight about Dr. K today, guys, okay? Don't worry about it. But I do think he stepped away from doing these kind of like quasi-therapy sessions with streamers live on stream now. I think that he has... You mean, okay, I mean, just to be clear, like, mine and Max's position on Dr. K were different. I focused more on the Ayurveda stuff that he was kind of pushing, which, I think even like a couple of days before I think I did my stuff about it, I think he kind of stepped away from, but he did it in a way that wasn't really addressing what he'd said or done wrong. It was just saying some of the Ayurveda stuff isn't really based on good science. So I've had that pointed out to me by some people on Reddit, so we're taking a step back from it. But like, he is an Ayurvedic practitioner. Like, he is an Ayurveda guy. And the stuff he was pushing wasn't just like, oh, it's backed by bad science. He was saying fucking insane, unhinged shit about like what Ayurveda could do. It was the dosha stuff and all that nonsense. I've done a video about it if you want to watch it. But because I even like agreed with some of Max's assessments of like what Dr. K was doing from the therapy kind of perspective. I think where I kind of parted ways with Max was the idea that like Dr. K, like I had obviously report Dr. K to the ethics board. That's fine. That's what it's there for, right? But the idea that if the ethics board didn't find in a way that favored you, you would continue to push the fight beyond that and like push to fight the ethics board. That to me was just too far. Do you know what I mean? I don't really know if that's like the right thing to do. Unless you had some evidence of malfeasance, or unless you had some sort of like proof that the ethics board was in bed with Dr. K in some way, I just don't know if you could really justify like attacking the ethics board for like not making a decision that agrees with you. And yeah, obviously from there, I think it's quite clear through Max's actions that he kind of needs a big bad to be in like combat with. Do you know what I mean? So there's a Dr. K stuff. It's like he needs to have some sort of narrative arc. So there was obviously the Destiny memes that have come more recently. There's then like, I don't know how much he's done with it, but he's done like the Mr. Beast. Like he's criticized Mr. Beast. And it was interesting because there was a promise that there was going to be some follow-up to the Dr. K stuff, and there was going to be another video about Dr. K. But what Max ended up releasing was like a 3-minute meme video that was pretty funny and pretty kind of edgy, of like him being the Saw guy, like killing Dr. K or some shit, right? But that was all that was released since, and there was a promise of like more content that was being critical of Dr. K, because I think a lot of people liked his criticism of Dr. K. But, you know, Destiny, Mr. Beast. Who else has there been? Max does content. Yeah, I like Max's content. I'm looking forward to the article. And I think one thing that people felt too is like, they feel like someone like Dr. K is someone who is actually engaged in like pretty shitty behavior that's like pretty demonstrably harmful. Like from their perspective, at least, whether you agree with that or not, like from their perspective, they think that he's able to, you know, adequately demonstrate some real harm. And it felt like he'd focused on like going from that to like Destiny, which seemed more like stupid drama. And it was like the Dr. K stuff felt like a valid concern, but the pivot to the Destiny stuff just came across as stupid interpersonal drama. And I think a lot of people really took issue with that, you know, and he lost a lot of support over that. And whilst I would say some of it is probably like, you know, like a sort of sense of loyalty or whatever to Destiny, I think other people genuinely were just like, you know, liked Max and liked his content and were just like, this is fucking stupid. Like, you know, I want to see more of the Dr. K stuff, less of like the interpersonal drama and shit, you know? And I think another reason people got frustrated with Max as well is because his pivot towards live streaming content has kind of like devalued his art, has like devalued his artistic expression, because his old videos were like long form content going over like the gender narrative, the Black Lives Matter narrative, or whatever the shit is, right? All of that kind of stuff. And I think people really valued that kind of content. But now they feel like he's kind of, the live streaming has led him to chase like another type of content, which maybe his core audience isn't really as interested in or as invested in. But yeah. Anyway, you know, I've not spoken to Max for a little while now, but I do wish him well, as much as we've had issues and disagreements. I just hope that, you know, this article comes out, whatever happens, happens, and he kind of moves on to like something which is like a bit more, I don't know, better for him, better for his community. I think this Destiny shit has just been very fucking like corrosive is the word I'm looking for. And you know, it's not just Max. Obviously, you know, Destiny has been pretty fucking you know, savage in response to how he's dealt with it. And it's just really corroded a lot of shit for Max. You know, through Destiny's actions somewhat, but also his own actions. And yeah. Anyway, little tangent for you. See, when you say stuff like that, you really play into the white blood cell me. He's being accused of being an abuser. Yeah, I know very well what's going on, okay? And, you know, I've given pretty forthright takes on what I think about this, that, and the other in regards to the drama. But I think you're delusional if, like, you don't think... You could think it's valid and justified, right? But, like, obviously Destiny has kind of attacked Mr. Girl. That's just a fact. Whether or not you think that's justified, but like, yeah, he has. And like, you know, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I do understand it. Particularly when there's like certain things being dug up and certain people being contacted. But it all has been extremely corrosive. That's all I'm saying. See, now what you're looking for is me to just totally validate Destiny's actions, right? See, this is why some of Max's criticisms of Destiny's community are valid. There is this weird white blood cell thing where people feel this need to have all of their feelings about Destiny validated. Like, it can't just be a sort of uncertain. It has to be, no, Destiny is completely and totally right in his actions, and you have to say that as well. It's crazy. Like, think about your fucking mental state right now. Like, why are you fucking doing this? It doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're so invested in it, and Destiny doesn't even fucking know who you are. It's mental. It's fucking mental. It's the same for every community. Listen, if you want me to do the both sides thing, some of Max's community members are some of the most fucking insane people I could imagine. And they're absolutely insufferable. Of course. Anyway, when does Aiko join? 2 hours 29. Oh, it's now.
Sunday we have your location. Oh. I'm not sure you want my location. I know karate. The panel is still going? What do you mean the panel's still going? It was 2 hours. We had 15 minutes left. Panel's done. If they're just taking in calls, I don't care. I'm there for the panel. Oh, looks like we're talking to Aiko. Howdy do.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. I just woke up. I'm in the dark.
I'm
Can
feeling
you hear me okay?
I'm feeling that way a little bit myself, to be honest.
You feel that way, or are you in the dark?
Technically both. I've got a ring light now though, so it doesn't look like I'm in the dark, but this is a dark room.
Oh, when'd you get it?
No, a little while. You haven't noticed how much it's like a beige blur for the last little while?
Probably, but usually I'm just always looking to chroma key people, and so like there's
Fair
stuff around you. But I'd have to look. But good job.
On the panel? Or
What
with the light?
panel?
Oh, well, never mind.
Oh wait, there was a panel today?
There's a panel today.
Oh, did it happen yet?
Yeah, just did a few minutes ago.
Oh.
Probably about 20 minutes ago or so. 25 minutes ago. Yeah, Neon Gutters put it well. It wasn't a panel, it was trying to sacrifice people to Destiny for refusing clout. Which, I mean, whatever. It's fine.
Wait, so what happened? So what happened? Like, how did...
Oh, it started off alright.
Chud with another bad take. Someone trying to ruin your entire life isn't the same as talking shit on stream. To say Destiny also attacked Mr. Girl is a laughable statement. Okay. You're gone. Like, this is just insane. These takes are fucking insane from people like you. Like, do you think it's controversial to say that even if you think it maybe is justified, that Destiny has attacked Mr. Girl in response to what Max has done? Like, that's just an uncontroversial statement, surely.
and it was just devolved into a farce. So the panel discussion prompt was, what is the biggest threat to progressives?
Mm-hmm.
And started off again promisingly. Brianna was suggesting something about non-pragmatic attitudes to, actually wrote it down, non-pragmatic attitudes to electoral politics being the litmus test for good policy, I assume. Stephen was going on about the usual progressives are shrill and catastrophizing weirdos, and they just need to shut up.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I just have to throw in there, like, he hangs out with the most fucking weird people on the
weird
internet.
is my language. He specified catastrophizing.
The weirdest is what he said. Right.
No.
Right?
What he said, if I'm recalling this correctly, was to the effect that progressives are catastrophizing about whatever, like they're talking about fascists, they're talking about persecution of trans people, they're talking about boycotts, yada yada yada. Therefore, it's progressives. Progressives are the greatest threat to progressives. Whatever.
He's such a fucking like.
No, he's a snake.
He is like, I cannot believe that I like thought that he'd come to his senses eventually.
Oh, he did though. He did, but his senses are for short-term profit. Yeah, it's sad actually, because you get to a point like a massive scale. 600,000 is no laughing matter. Actually, 400,000 before he turned on this road. You have a large amount of prestige, and with the long game, you can actually rise from there considerably. But instead, he chose to play the same game as Chud Logic, albeit on a larger scale. And his entire career for the last little while has been desperately trying to ingratiate himself with deadbeats like Sneeko. I mean, why not just make cat videos at this point?
I mean, he should. Yeah, I mean, he might as well just like.
I didn't realize I was mentioned.
And,
not once, but twice.
A red nose and be a clown, whatever. Wait, keep talking. I should put myself on mute for a second. Keep talking.
It's all good. Yeah, it was just
the thing is, it's like I mean, you know, I don't think that that's really a legitimate comparison anyway, because Destiny, although admittedly yes, has obviously got, well, I want to say he's got content at the forefront of his mind, but his addiction to Factorio has obviously caused some issues with that. Let's put it that way. But I think more broadly, he also believes that his pill stuff is like doing something, right? Like, he was very content brained, but then he also thinks there is some greater political thing happening, and I think that's also demonstrated by the canvassing stuff, you know? Like, I'm never going to fucking pay for canvassing. I could be a millionaire, I could be a billionaire, okay, and I am not going to pay a single penny towards any iota of political change, because I literally don't care, you know? But obviously Destiny does care, and he does make, you know, efforts towards pushing a political thing beyond what I would ever do. You are disgusting. Correct. I am disgusting. I agree with you. And guess what? There's literally nothing you can do about it. You cannot stop me. You cannot stop me accumulating as much money as I desire and doing as I want with it. There's literally nothing you can do to stop me. You can maybe try reporting me to YouTube, reporting me to Twitch. But, you know, hopefully I break the rules. If not, there's nothing you can do.
There is nothing that you can do to stop me. There's nothing you've done in the past 4 years to stop me. Even if you figure something out, I'm 4 steps ahead of you, and I always will be. And what is coming, you cannot stop.
That's why I give you money.
Thank you very much for the $2. Do you seriously think that? You can't see yourself making a donation if you were making millions for years. If I got to a position... you make it... Oh, fuck's sake, you're making it difficult for me, okay? Please don't. Fuck. I could be a millionaire walking down the street, right? And there could be a guy there, and he's like, please, I'm going to die of thirst literally in 5 minutes if I don't get a bit of water to drink. And I could be outside a convenience store, and he's like, please, just go in and get me a bottle of water. It will cost you like 50 pence. And I would say, maybe you should have got a job, you fucking loser. And then I'd American Psycho him. Speed it up a bit. Save some fucking money and time. Nah, I mean, look, at the moment, I'm in a position where, you know, I've got things that I want to achieve, right? I've got things I want to do. I want my kids to be looked after. I want to purchase like a property, nothing like Hassan level, probably like a flat, an apartment, something like that. Something where my kids come over, where I can have like a studio, like build a studio in the flat, soundproofed, all that stuff. You know, that's the kind of things I want to get sorted primarily. But like, if I was a millionaire, I mean, fuck. I mean, it would be difficult to like not do anything with it, because the thing is I live quite a what's the right way of putting it? What is it Hassan said? What was the thing Hassan said about his money that got him some controversy recently? The basic necessity budget. Yeah. I don't live. Well, I mean, saying you're frugal when you're, I mean, or saying you've got a basic necessity budget is not really accurate when you are spending things on that which is not necessities, right? Like if I had a basic necessities budget, I wouldn't be buying. I eat like a lot of ready meals. I wouldn't buy ready meals. I wouldn't buy like takeout. I wouldn't buy anything except the basic nutritional needs that I've got. Right? That maybe you could fit in like a McDonald's every couple of weeks and still call it a necessities budget. But like, you know, but the point is, I don't live a basic necessities budget, but I don't like spend lots of money. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's stuff I could buy, like a second computer for my stream. But because I can kind of get by and I don't really need to do gaming streams, I'm probably not going to bother, even though I thought I was going to do that. But yeah, the point is I don't spend a lot of money, you know, because I don't really have much expenditure that's aside from like my kids. Obviously, I've got to pay for my kids, pay my rent. Beyond that, it's mainly just food, and then if I need stuff, I just buy it as I need it. You know, a modest life. Yeah, modest life is probably the right way to put it. Like I buy things that aren't just necessities, that are more of a luxury, but it's not like excessive. You know. Anyway. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, eventually, given time, I will be in a position, assuming the same level of income, where I can hopefully get a house and stuff or a flat. And then that'll be it. I'll be sorted. So maybe in that situation, if I had like excess money after that, I might be interested in doing something. I don't know what that is exactly. One idea that I had like early on was the idea of like, I don't like talking about it because I don't like to give the impression I'm actually going to do anything, because I don't want people to give me money in the hopes that I reach that stage and then I do the thing, because I don't know, it just feels weird. But one thing that would be cool is to set up some sort of charity for like small creators. So if someone's a small creator who can't afford the equipment that they need to start broadcasting or start making content, like let's say they literally can't even afford like a microphone or something like that, or they need to have an upgrade to a piece of equipment that's broken, it would be nice to be able to set something up where you can apply for like a grant or something like that, you know? Scam incoming. How is that a scam? What, who's doing the scam? Me or them? But I thought, you know, imagine like if you could apply for some grant for like, you know, like it could even just be like for $500, and then you can spend that on like whatever content creation stuff you want. The difficulty would be is like, how do you do it in a way so people can't take advantage of it? Like, because you don't want people just getting $500 and never doing anything with it, you know? Call it the bed blob grant, true. Because, you know, you must have heard it when you've got someone who's trying to be a content creator and their microphone is like absolute dog shit and it just completely ruins their content. And it's like, imagine if you could get them like, I don't know, a decent microphone or a decent audio setup, and then they'd be set, wouldn't they? I don't know. Anyway, that would be like something I would consider. Something like that would be cool to do. But again, I don't know if it's ever going to happen, or like how I would achieve it or how I would do it. But yeah, because I think that ties into my kind of mentality of content creation too, rather than it being like a political thing as such. But yeah. And I wouldn't care what political ideology you are. You could be a far-right Nazi and you could still apply for the grant just the same. It would be not be based on political ideology. It would be based on need, just the way it should be.
It was a farcical panel. It was just embarrassing. Wick was not an impartial moderator. I pointed this out. He just owned it as a gag. He was himself arguing with specifically people on our end of the field. Brianna Wu was trying to run interference for Kyla, not so erudite, but couldn't even recall, despite the fact this is apparently prompted by her dislike of my video critique of her. She couldn't recall what her degree was, what her credentials were. Brianna Wu.
Who? Oh, was defensive of erudite?
No.
How long did it take if you can see there were 10 viewers? In my first stream, I had, I think, 9 average viewers. And then from there, it was over 10. I was quite lucky that I'd built up a presence. Well, not lucky. It was partly me as well. But I'd built up a presence online. It was only like 500, 600 Twitter followers. But that was enough to like promote my stream where I didn't have to stream for nobody for months.
Okay.
It's pretty transparent that what happened was they sent around DMs prior to the conversation. And decided to make a dog pile of it. Wick was immediately excited about having that conversation, despite the fact that it had no bearing whatsoever on the panel topic. And it was quickly it was quickly snuffed out because Brianna didn't even know what credentials erudite had. She cited the ones that Kyla had bullshitted. So it was kind of brilliant. She said she had a graduate degree in psychometrics as a psychometrist. She said exactly. You saw the thing I sent you. She claimed that a psychometrist was a graduate degree, and that's what she had. Here's the deal. You actually can't get a graduate degree as a psychometrist with the title psychometrist on it in Canada. It doesn't exist.
You can't get a graduate anything, right? You can like graduate from a like a not official certificate.
Well, she has an official certificate, which is a 1-year diploma in psychological assessment, which does indeed include classes on psychometrics. But it would be sort of like I've taken classes on, I don't know, electoral politics or whatever, and therefore I call myself a political consultant. No, I am not. I have a political science bachelor's, and that's it.
What do you say? Wait, what was it? What is the thing that you said?
It would be as if I self-described as a political consultant on the basis of having a bachelor's degree in political science and having taken courses in electoral politics.
Okay. Political scientist is what you would say? I can't hold anything in my head. Okay, yeah.
Well, political science is very non-specific.
Well, because she's stoned.
Engages in political science. That can mean any number of things.
Exactly.
Psychometrist, by contrast, is different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yes, definitely.
For two critical reasons. First of all, because she's falsely characterizing it as a graduate degree. She's using this as a not a description of like she's not saying I'm working as a psychometrist. She's saying I have the title of a psychometrist. I have a graduate degree that says that I can call myself a psychometrist and a psychometrician, etc. Whatever one she feels like will stick the most in given the current audience. She's not saying I've worked briefly, basically in the capacity of a psychometrician for an individual project in the past. That's not what she says. She says I am in the present tense a psychometrician. Can't do that. I got confirmation from the university that she got her diploma from. No, you can't use that. You can't use that on a job application for the reason that there is no registry for it, which means that when you say I'm a psychometrist, it's a lie. On the basis of having that diploma.
Here's the problem is like the way you like you're putting extra things on it that haven't necessarily that either can't be demonstrated because it's like a moral perspective or isn't precisely that because it could technically mean something else, like with the email that you showed. I don't know if there are further emails after that. But
what else could it show? See, the reason why.
Wait. No. I mean, the way you worded it and the way that they responded, you asked it would be appropriate to put that down.
Yeah.
And the person said it would not be appropriate to put that down on a resume and that you should check with, outside of that specific, Alberta or wherever it was, and that you should check with your local board or something like that, the requirements.
She's in Alberta.
Inappropriate means that as like to advise you as if you were a person writing down your qualifications or what you are. Inappropriate doesn't necessarily mean like it would be wrong.
That's exactly what it means. Actually, it means it would be wrong. It'd be inappropriate. That's what that means.
Well, inappropriate, like okay, not
inappropriate in this context simply means wrong. When we are talking about self-description of credentials, if something is inappropriate to self-describe yourself as, it is inappropriate to self-describe yourself as. Now, the retort could be, in the context of a job application that's somehow distinct from, say, self-describing to a general audience. There are two problems with this. First of all, it doesn't strike me as a strong retort to say that this is therefore a license for her to try and mislead the public for her own aggrandizement. The second retort is that
wait. Say
second,
that again.
No,
the first. Wait, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. So the first retort is that it doesn't strike me as a compelling argument to say that therefore it's technically fine for her to misrepresent her credentials to the public at large, provided she just doesn't happen to be applying for a job.
Right. I do not believe that to be the case. I don't. That's not a point I think is valid.
What part do you not believe to be the case?
I think that what you're saying, like what you're coming back to me with, that's reasonable, right? But like you're putting like obvious like
moral weight on this,
like a biased disgust.
Yeah.
You are putting more than like okay, when you say it, you make it sound
it's really
like
bad.
You are
it's really
expecting,
bad.
Okay. Yeah. But like for people, well, this is the thing. You have to consider
here's
who
the
you are.
No. Here's the problem. I think this is the point that you're missing. Okay. She is self-describing as somebody with a title in the field, a title that she doesn't have.
Yes.
To a layperson, that signifies experience and authority over somebody else with a contrary opinion. She is then using that perception by her lay audience to say extremely incorrect things. In addition, this is where it gets really bad. She is also selling a mental health service. She is charging people in her audience $40 a pop to direct them.
So I don't listen. I'm going to be honest with you. This is why I don't know about this fucking psychometrist thing or whatever the fuck it is. I literally have got no idea about what it is, about what is right, what is wrong, or anything like that. So I can't really comment on that part of it. But the mental health service thing, I don't really like. I feel like the representing it that way. Like she just gives a recommendation of like what therapists are in a local area and gives a couple to say, "Oh, here's some you could possibly try." And that's it. Like, I don't know if that's like a mental health service. I mean, I guess technically it is, but describing it that way puts a lot into it to act like there's something dramatically wrong in doing that. Scam. Is it a scam? I mean, is it really a scam? If someone feels that they don't know what therapist to look at in the local area, is there a problem with like someone saying, hey, here's like 3 or 4, bang, you can maybe pick one of those? It's like an advice service. I just don't know what the big fuss about it is. Like, what's the problem with doing it? I don't know, man. I fail to see what the problem is with charging $40 to someone and you say, hey, here's a couple of therapists in your area that you might want to look at.
A therapist, to actually choose the therapist for them, which means to not choose a different therapist. That is grossly irresponsible. There's just no way around it. This is just really, really bad.
Really, yeah, explain what the issue is then. Nobody England, tell me what the issue with that is. What's the problem? Why should I be concerned with that? What is the possible issues with that?
Here, yes. I was waiting in the video because I don't disagree with you as a person. I'm pushing back on like, oh my god, cats, calm down, you're fine. Because I don't disagree with you at all, but like I see the problems in like what does make people not I guess open to anything you say, I guess.
Oh, I mean, the kind of person who's going to defend Kyla for doing this, they're not going to be swayed by anything. They don't care.
No. They just will assume that you are misunderstanding.
It doesn't even matter. No. I think you're giving them way too much credit.
The thing is, I'm not even like necessarily defending like not so erudite. It's just, well, tell me what the problem is. Tell me, like, I'm in a position where I'm like, well, I'm just like, okay, like that's something that's happening. And if someone chooses to engage in that, then they can choose to engage in that. And if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But beyond that, like, why should I issue like some moral condemnation on that action? Because I don't really see anything bad or wrong or like someone coming to harm from that. Because it's like they're still seeing a therapist at the end of the day, And I believe my understanding is she kind of recommends a cluster, like 2 or 3 different therapists and says, okay, well, these are the ones that seem to be the most credentialed or something like that, right? Can anyone actually make an argument as to why it's bad or why it's wrong or like what the risks are? Obviously, if you want to say like it's too much money or it's too expensive or something like that, you're not really criticizing the core thing that's happening. You're criticizing the money aspect, or like it's too expensive. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, whether or not something costs too much money is always going to be down to the individual making the decision about spending the money or not. The risk is, okay, the risk is getting a therapist that doesn't have a foundation based in the Bible. Help people find therapists by doing what? Reading Google reviews. Why can't the client do that? If your argument is the person could do it themselves, I agree. If the person doesn't want to spend money on doing that and wants to do it themselves, then they should go and do that then, shouldn't they? I don't really understand that argument, because it's like, yeah, obviously, if you want to do it yourself, do it yourself. No one is forcing anyone to do it. These are people that are willingly engaging with this service of their own accord and going, okay, I'm having trouble finding a therapist. This person will take $40 from me and they'll recommend, you know, services in my area. Yeah, there we go. There's lots of things that are like you would consider too expensive or think, well, you could do it yourself, right? People, you know, you can, I don't know, like what's an example of this, of like a similar service? Yeah, like, you know, there's financial services where you might go to, you could research the financial services yourself and decide which one you're going to go with. But there's people that will charge you money to make a recommendation or point you in a direction of like a couple of options that might be more suitable for you to narrow it down for you. That's like, okay, isn't it? Like, I don't really see what the problem is, as long as you're ending up speaking about your issues. Like if like Not So Erudite was like therapizing the people in the course of doing that, yeah, I would take issue with that. But if it was just like, you know, I'm trying to find a therapist, you know, I've got this issue, and it was like, look, I can't speak to you about your issue. I'm not in a position to do that, but I can say, here's the therapist I recommend. Yeah, I just don't think that's like that big a deal. You might think it's expensive. You might think it's a waste of money. You might think it's pointless. That's totally fine. You're allowed to think that. But there's a moral condemnation that's expected that I just don't really think I should give. It just doesn't make sense for me to like morally condemn it or say there's something ethically wrong happening.
Assume that it's misunderstanding. They won't even assume that it's misunderstanding. They will insist upon it on no basis whatsoever. They do not care.
Right. But why? But here's the thing. I'm asking you, what kind of outcome do you want from or like what is the goal with the video? Because I think it's important to note this stuff, to tell people that stuff.
I want to clear. Well, there's two goals. First of all, I want a clear statement of what her qualifications actually are, contrary to her misrepresentations of them.
She's not offering any unique service or insight, though. She's using her expertise to sell this. But if that's the case and you don't think it's like valid, then don't use it. Like, just don't use the service, right? Like, there's plenty of people out there who do this kind of thing where they recommend people, and someone might look at it and go, you know, I don't think that's a particularly unique service, and then you don't use it. Like, the point is the moral or condemnation would suggest that it's something she shouldn't do whatsoever, and it seems like the criticism is just, well, I don't like the idea of it. And it's like, well, don't use it then. Like, I don't know. Just because you don't want to use a service, you know, doesn't mean that the service shouldn't exist or there's a moral or ethical reason the service shouldn't exist.
And secondly, I left just enough to prompt a reply, because she's going to dig her hole deeper, and we're going to see that on Monday if that ever materializes. Otherwise, I'll just follow up, because I've kept some things in reserve.
Okay, well, there you go. Because I guess, like, when
she's farming the mentally ill. I mean, I do that as well. I do that too. If her expertise isn't valid, come to me. I'll recommend a therapist for you in the area for $40 and I have zero expertise. You know, there's these services which I would argue maybe, you know, are not even, like, maybe a bit worse in some way. But if you search for, like, you know, so for example, if I go, there's Etsa, there's a visa exemption that you can do when you go to America. It's only for like 90 days, right? If I go and search up this thing that I need to do, it costs like X amount of money with the US government directly. There are like adverts for websites ahead of that, and it's like, you know, oh, we charge like $100, and it's like we do the service for you, but you could do it directly, and it's very easy, and it's like $40. Now, them having that advert there is probably like worse, like than what Not So Erudite's doing, say, because it's like a bit more disingenuous, right? Because they're like acting like they're the official, in some way official to do it, but they're not. They're just a service that you pay extra to do it for you, even though you could do it yourself, right? But do I think that's immoral and unethical and shouldn't exist? Well, no. As long as they're making it clear in the literature that it isn't the thing that you're doing, you're paying a company to do it. If a couple of people get caught out by that, well, then that's on them, you know, buyer beware. Like, I wouldn't even think that should be banned or illegal because, you know, they are offering a service. And in that case, I'd say they're probably being even more disingenuous in how they're offering it. But at the end of the day, like, it's buyer beware, you know? You were being too nice to these fucks, claiming it's a scam. Am I? Unless, I mean, I guess I'm just kind of, I'm trying to genuinely understand what the problem is, and I'm not really seeing any good arguments. Erudite explains that if a service fails to find you a good therapist or their suggestion doesn't work, she refunds you. Caveat emptor from a lefty. Yeah. Why is that? Why is that against the principle of being a lefty? That's just fucking good. That's just good advice, isn't it? I think we do need to have a principle of that. Like, I don't think that you can. I think that you have strong consumer protections, but like, there's got to be a line somewhere where the consumer has got to take some responsibility and bear the brunt of that on their own shoulders, unless they've genuinely got some sort of intellectual disability. Because, you know, we need to empower people to make decisions that are right for them in their consumption purchases and stuff like that. But you know, and protect them from like really bad actors. But you've got to put some responsibility on the person to not get totally fucking shafted on the price or something because they didn't read the terms and conditions or something like that, right? $40 to get help finding a therapist would have been good for me when I needed one a couple of years back. I don't get why this is bad. I don't think it is. I don't think there's any strong arguments against it beyond arguments that end up as like, well, I wouldn't use the service personally, which is what it seems to boil down to. It's too expensive. I don't think it's worth it. Then don't use it. Doesn't mean it shouldn't exist. There's plenty of stuff that I think's dumb and don't agree with, like, you know, the concept of it, but I just don't use the service because I can do it myself. You know, taxes. I did all my own taxes for the last tax season. Now, I could have gone and paid someone to do my taxes for me, but because at this point it was more straightforward, right, in terms of the ingoings and outgoings, I didn't bother and I did it myself. Now, I could have paid someone 200 quid to do it, but I don't think personally the savings that I would have gained would have exceeded the amount I would have paid to get someone to look over it. So I didn't bother. Next time round, because my tax bill is going to be a lot higher, at that point, yeah, I will pay someone 200 or 300 quid to look over it because I'm pretty confident that they're going to be able to, you know, set it up in a way where I don't like accidentally pay some tax that I'm not supposed to or something like that. So I will pay someone to do it. Is that bad? Is that person doing something wrong? They're charging money for something I could do myself. Like, but that's not a problem, is it? Like, that's a service and I'm willingly using it because I think it's going to make my life easier. Actually, yes, you are being scammed if you're a working class person and having someone else do your taxes for you. Well, you're just retarded then, aren't you? You just admitted you're a complete fucking, you know, mouth-breathing retard with absolutely nothing to contribute to the conversation if you think that that's getting scammed. How is it getting scammed if I pay someone 300 quid for them to do my taxes for me and they structure it in a way that saves me 500 quid on my tax bill? How is that getting scammed? I'm benefiting from that situation too. That's money that I would have to invest time in that I probably wouldn't have to figure out that I can save 500 quid by structuring it in this way that's going to benefit me. Like that, you know, I'm 300 quid up. That's benefiting me. They're benefiting, I'm benefiting, everyone's happy. God, you people are so dense. You're a streamer, your situation is unique. How is it unique? I mean, unless maybe to be a bit more charitable, if you're talking about someone that's working class and they get paid by a company and the taxes are dealt with by the company themselves, then yeah, obviously you don't need to do that. But then the company covers all of that anyway. And why would you need to go and see someone to get advice on taxation?
Whenever, because I was just telling someone in my Discord, like when people say things and they say them with like moral weight and clear bias, even if they're correct, I am less likely to trust what they say.
Like I said, hang on. Someone said something I wanted to read. Where is it? At worst, she's using a platform to charge people for something she's not qualified to do. Do you need to have a qualification? I mean, I guess the strongest argument I could see is that if it is true that she was misrepresenting herself, that could be argued that could lead people to spend money on a service when they wouldn't otherwise. So but you need to provide evidence, which again, is something that President has recently read about it and made some claims. Erudite's going to be responding. I'll watch both the videos when Erudite responds and we'll see what's what with it. But beyond that, I don't think you need any qualifications to say, hey, here's 3 therapists in your area that I think would be good for you. Right?
And like the person in particular is someone who has made like large claims about people without any like anything really. I forget what it was, but it was like related to Chud or Destiny or something. And
you're talking about something I've said?
No. It was something separate from you. I'm talking about someone in my community and my Discord that said like something like she could have been
this is our mutual friend.
Animals. Huh?
This is our mutual friend.
What mutual friend?
Don't worry about it. As you were.
Wait, what mutual friend?
I don't want to say their name. That's the reason why I'm saying mutual friend. If you didn't pick it up, it's okay. As you were, continue.
Wait, no, just tell me.
No, because we're live right now. Wait, did you not know we were live? I said, do you want to join me on stream?
No. Hi, chat? Question mark.
Amazing.
That's my bad. I apologize.
Yeah, you didn't say we were on stream. What are you trying to do?
I didn't.
I could have been.
You were DMing me during the panel. I thought you were.
Oh my god.
No, I thought that. Oh my! Wait, you said that you were just done.
Yes, like 25 minutes before we started talking.
No.
Yeah, but that means
what a disaster.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, this is why it's good that everything that I say in private is the same as I say in public.
Yeah, you got anybody who thinks that either Aiko or I sim for each other, dear God. You can be the absolute worst. I like you, but you can be the absolute worst. Sorry, continue with what you're saying.
Excuse me. But yeah, here's the thing. Like, okay, I guess I'm thinking about what I said. All right, so what I said to you, yes, I stand by it. Did it need to be said publicly? No, because I don't want to get involved with something unless it's like actually there's something to demonstrate. Like there's something that if I can't like bring something to the table, then...
Anyway, guys, listen, it's time for me to chill. We're over halfway on both the bars. What incredible news. Oh my God, we're going to fill the bars today. That's such good news. I'm so excited. I can't contain my excitement, okay? If you want to support the stream, chuck me a super chat or chuck me a fucking dono. Text-to-speech is on, okay? You can say whatever you want to me. You can call me an idiot. You can call me a cuck. You can call me a retard. You can call me an ugly British man. Whatever you want to do, it literally is up to you, okay? This is a scam, correct? You're going to give me money and you are going to get a small amount of parasocial engagement in doing so, and then that's it. It's going to be over, okay? You can even do, look, you got meme numbers. Oh, you can do a 420. Oh, wow. 420, man. That's the funny number, isn't it? Did the excitement from the 200 game downloads already wear off? I mean, obviously, when you achieve something like that, it kind of is like, okay, it's done now. But I appreciate everyone that downloaded it, okay? I love you all. Have to show your taxes. No, what? I don't want to do that. Hey, thanks for the $5. Why am I removing the bars? I changed my mind.
No.
Should I move the bars? I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. Thank you very much for the $5. The Trib. Thank you for the $2. Appreciate that. Maybe at the start of next week I'll do it. The start of my next stream. Maybe. We'll see. Not confirmed.
You're a boomer.
I'm a
Congrats.
boomer, true.
Rare achievement, smiley face.
But yeah, I don't know. Who wants to like the stream? Like the stream.
I don't know, because I think then people, especially when it's me, people try to
Go to a mechanic and have a fireman fix your car. You're all simps for D. Do you mean Destiny? I mean, I understand that Not So Erudite has got some connection to like Destiny's community, but like talking about whether or not she should provide a service like this, I don't really know what that's got to do with Destiny in any way, shape, or form.
make it into drama, and I'm really not.
No, Savokson, you're worth a lot to me, but obviously the more you give, the more you're worth. So, you know, give generously. Hope you're doing well, mate. Thank you. Hope you don't say the N-word anymore, because that's naughty.
I don't want to give people content in that way. I'm just talking about sexual assault every day, and it's like too much of a bummer that, I mean, there's so many people that are being outed as predators that I don't know or that I know, and or something else like super terrible. But like, I don't actually really care if someone's padding their resume or outright lying about their qualifications, unless they're using it to bolster a fucked up message that I haven't had presented to me to this point. You know, like I need something to be like, I don't care if someone is just kind of like a bit full of shit. You know, if
I
they're
agree.
just like,
I agree. And to be clear, if all that had happened was Not So Erudite had characterized herself as a psychometrician, and I had gone, oh, that's kind of weird. You can't actually get that as a degree, and she says she's only got a graduate diploma. That's a little strange. I'd probably just leave it. I wouldn't care. Where I take issue is where she's giving mental health advice, making extremely overreaching statements in her capacity as what she has falsely portrayed herself to be, and then in addition, commodifying it and trying to sell a service in mental health to a vulnerable audience that has taken her at her word. That's my issue.
yeah.
And that I think is not something that you can be sort of passive with. Once again,
No,
there are lots of philosophers, quote unquote, and lawyers and whatever on YouTube and in Destiny and Bosch's orbit, even maybe less so because he's got caged in, who are probably bullshitting to some extent, like what their actual level of professional qualification is. I don't care, provided they're not doing something that's actually pernicious. I think what Kyla's doing is actually pernicious.
Honest, like, I guess what it is like, I don't know what you all are up to on Twitter, but seriously, I think that
Twitter is just an unhealthy hellhole. I agree with you.
No, but like it doesn't. It is a part of someone's reputation.
Yeah, it is.
And here's the
But I mean,
problem.
that's the flip side.
Here's
though,
the
right?
problem with peace and love.
Okay.
Here's the problem.
All right, let's hear it.
People who don't already like and trust you do not trust you.
That's okay.
They don't, and
I've got 12K subscribers. Okay, that's most of the world. It's just how it is.
no, that's not right. But the people who are not who haven't been exposed to you or find out about you through other people have no reason to not think that you're just like being like petty or something.
If here's the problem. I see what you're saying. Here's the problem though. If I take that attitude, I will never get anywhere. I will be Wick. That's what Wick does.
No.
Yes.
Listen, you will not be wicking out, okay? Listen. So the problem is that like if you engage, and if I go too far, just tell me, okay? Just like because I'm just being honest, okay? If you roll around in the mud, it doesn't just come off without like giving it time to dry and crackle off, even if you don't take a shower, right? Like, or feces, whatever it is. Like, it's like people. It remains.
Honestly, I just don't think Aiko is capable of stringing a coherent sentence together because of the fucking THC that is absolutely rocketing through her cerebellum at any given moment. Like, it's just fucking impossible. Like, what is she even saying? I don't even understand the fucking word. Like, what is she trying to say?
Like, new people, we're all like interconnected, and there's so much misinformation about people. Like, I keep bringing this up, but like with Kalila and Bobby Lee, I thought she was someone completely different, and there's no reason that I didn't have any investment in like finding out what was.
Is what she's like in person? Did someone ask? I didn't actually really speak to her that much. She was kind of around. She was at our place for like a party, but we didn't really speak at all. It was a bit awkward because obviously we had a bit of a falling out, you could say, before TwitchCon. So we didn't really interact at all.
Was what? Because she had so much hate from like One Direction that is typically hateful of women, that especially like people that are fans of comedy on Reddit, that I didn't look into it at all, and I was like resistant to thinking that this might be the case. And like, you can roll around in this shit like on occasion, but if you don't like maintain like a reputation of being like level-headed and serious when it comes to like serious things, people won't be able to like know the difference. Because I know that you are, and I know you take this seriously, but like all of it looks equally serious to you when you engage in things, because you are also very good at keeping a straight face. So like, not everyone knows when you're even kidding. Like with the Haas and the phone.
Oh, I wish that was a talent and not a disability. That's just how I am.
No, listen, you did the phone thing. I know you did with Haas.
Slander, how dare you?
Exactly. Look, I know your tricks. Justin's just like that.
You come onto my channel and you cast these invidious aspersions.
I didn't know I was coming onto your channel.
I trusted you.
I did. Well, I did not know that I was going onto your channel, and it's good that I kept the slurs to myself.
Indeed.
But I just wanted to say overall,
they can never know what actually goes on. Sorry, continue.
I just like.
Oh, what does that mean?
You
Ooh.
If the reputation that you have for how you handle things, separately from like silly goose petty time, to like actually like serious. I think that like you set the standard too high, whereas like people have to think she's a liar in order to like take anything you're saying in, versus you presenting the information.
Oh no, that's the conclusion I draw from the information that I show.
I know, but you
don't have to assume she's a liar. That's the point.
Oh, this Reverend Lou gets ousted. The problem is President Sunday, his political content just doesn't garner much interest, which is just the nature of the beast, really. So he will regularly kind of dip his toe or even jump wholesale into like drama stuff, act like he's above it all, but like willingly roll around like a pig in the mud with everyone else. And act like he's above it. But it's the stuff that gets the most views on his channel. So obviously he's incentivized to like continue to do that kind of content, But yeah, that's how it goes. That's what a lot of people do. They kind of act like they're above it all. But the truth of it is that, yeah, no one is above the drama. It's only drama. It's only dismissed as drama when it like has some sort of negative implication, or like you don't want to handle it or deal with it, right? We saw this with the Tim Pool stuff. He didn't want to talk about the Eliza Blue stuff, so he hand waved it away as just drama. But yeah. Obviously, people just don't like her, so they're inviting things she's doing wrong to condemn. Like, come on. Oh, we mean not so erudite.
The reason why I started. No.
In your video,
yeah,
the way that it's presented, this is the overall.
No, I can tell you the sequence directly because I haven't internalized. I wrote the thing.
No, I mean, you from the beginning, your title was how.
Yes, the title is the conclusion. Yeah, that's fair. That's the title.
Right.
The title is the conclusion. The title
anyway,
tells you, what the video is working towards.
I think we've seen enough of this. Where's the rest of the Wick thing? Apparently the call-ins were good. Let's watch some of that. When did the call-in start? I think I ended it.